Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the podcast, another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Connor Cardenas. And before we get into it today, I just want to give a huge shout out to the title sponsor of Caffeine and Green, which is 7 Seas Roasting Company, coming straight out of San Diego, California. My home roaster, and most of the time where you'll find me during the week. Now, what's so great about 7 Seas Roasting is that we're doing things a little bit different in specialty coffee. We're working with coffee farmers in villages in Laos and Vietnam, and we're bringing those coffees to life. But along with that, we're also showcasing other amazing coffees, Colombia's, Ethiopians, Guatemala's, Mexican coffees, which is coming down the pipe, so get ready, y'all. Now, full transparency, I am the head roaster at 7 Seas, as most of you know. But regardless, I think by now y'all know that I'm giving you straight fire with that coffee. So what I want you to do is head over to 7seasroasting.com, put in my code C&G at checkout, and you're going to get a deal, which is 3 bags of coffee for $30. I mean, that's a no-brainer if you really think about it, because 2 bags is $32 right there. So you're essentially getting 1 bag of coffee for free. It's a no-brainer, like I said. Now, right now, we have the El Jaguar, which is amazing. It's chocolate. It's nutty. It has a little bit of orange zest up front. We also have an array of new Lao coffees. The Katuat Village, we have the Phodom Kwan, and we also have the classic Setapung. Now, we also have some other things coming down the pipe, again, like I mentioned, so be ready, but that's what you have to choose for, and we have amazing, they're amazing coffees. I really hope you guys enjoy it, and again, use that code C&G at checkout. That's CANDG, and you're going to get that deal 3 for $30. Now, unfortunately, the charity coffees, which is the Kaha Collective and the Spikes Roast, don't come in this deal. But you still have so many coffees to choose from, it's all G. So head over, guys, C&G at checkout to get that deal.
My guests today, you guys know them. They've been on the show multiple times. It's the Flowmads. It's my boy Chauncey. It's my boy Sisflow. And like normal, we're going to start it off with my boy Sisflow spitting the fucking fire right now. Sisflow.
On a scale of 1 to green, I think I'm feeling,
Blue.
No, yellow. Hello from the bellow of the beast. I'm mellow when I feast move to the beat just like jello. Standing upright with lean like a cello. Spit it for the kiddos from the meadow to the ghetto. You know how the motto goes, don't ever settle. I'm master of puppets, but younger than Geppetto. Bobby De Niro flow, I'm a good fellow. Lyrical pro at that magical level. David Blaine explaining the show. Every illusion that makes you go, whoa. People are snoozing and don't even know the altitude that I've been cruising at.
Yo.
Wow.
Yes. So, without further ado, Sisflow, Chauncey, that's the Flowmads. This is your time to shine, homies. Let's go.
Caffeine and Green. It's your boy Connor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and Green.
After this, I might need a napkin because I be serving the Japanese folks soy sauce in a ramekin.
And we're live. Cheers, boys.
Cheers and sandwiches.
Yeah, thank you for having us, bro.
Damn, that's a good beer. I bought 2 of these yesterday.
Good.
2 of these beers from my guest Andrew, and I gave them just to him because I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna try to go to the gym after this. And then I was like, oh, when you guys said IPAs, I was like, okay, I'm gonna drink some IPAs tonight. So I went with what I got last night.
Dope.
And it's pretty nice.
It's delicious. Suamis, pick it up at your local pizza port. Get your pizza, your sandwiches, and your ramekins.
It's mainly
International
pizza.
Pilsner of All-American All-Star fucking...
What are you saying right now? Gentlemen, for those of people who don't know who you are, introduce yourselves.
That's my brother Sisflow.
And that's my brother Chauncey. And together we are...
Flowmads.
That's what's really good, though. That's what's really good.
Flowmatic tribe on a journey of ultimate flow.
Intergalactic, futuristic.
Space Outlaws.
Wait, no. It's
Interschmalactic.
futuristic reggae hip hop.
Futuristic
that's what it
reggae
is.
hip hop, and we're wanted in many sectors of the galaxy for making too dope as shit.
We're not popular yet in the world of planet Earth, but we're pretty popular in Sector 7GS54.
What?
They know it's in the future
Far out
already.
there.
You know what's crazy is that you
In the
haven't even
Milky
sparked
Way.
that joint in your hand yet. And you're already.
That's because I need the fire.
Dude, it's right here, bro.
Shanti's got the fire. Check it out on Spotify.
what?
So-
dude.
So I'm pretty psyched. I actually got my song "Got That Fire" on an official Spotify SoundCloud playlist curated
well, where can
by
you
a label.
find that shit?
What song is it? What song is it?
"Got That Fire."
Shanti got that fire.
Is that
fire.
the exact title of the song? Got that
But we
fire?
also play that together as a Flowmads track because it's got that futuristic reggae vibe.
How do you
Yeah.
spell that? Because like a lot of people might spell THAT.
It's just how it sounds. Got that fire.
I know, but for me,
I know.
it sounds like got that fire.
Yeah,
It's DAT.
Not to mention
it's
fire.
DAT and it's
How is fire
FIYA.
spelled?
FIYA.
See, FIYA that's a tough find right there for
Yeah.
me. I'm
See,
automatically
see.
putting fire FYA.
And
So,
so is Chauncey. It's a tough spell, so I fucked all that shit up.
no, so
whatever.
for the, so
It's
the people
working.
knows, just so we're clear, it's got that fire. Yeah.
Sí. Muy bien.
But yeah, so this
Arigato.
this label Gravitas Recordings put it on their Gravitas All Day playlist. So it's my first official like dope placement on a Spotify playlist.
Do they
milestone.
do they like notify you like, hey, you're
Yeah, they
being put on this
emailed
playlist?
me and they're like, "Hey, we're stoked we put your song on our playlist. Thank you. Like, continue to submit music." And I was like,
Epic.
"No way," because we got on one other playlist once, and it was just sort of like kind of fell short of what our expectations of the music we should be surrounded by.
Yeah.
But this playlist has like all these other artists that I look up to and been listening to for a long time, and it's like, holy crap, this label thinks that my stuff stands the test next to these songs, and they like it enough to put it on a playlist with it. So
Yeah.
that's like ultimate,
That's
like
epic.
humbling experience.
Dude, what
What
do
is
you
that?
think?
Congratulations, bro.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Oh, let me get into this. Boom, son. Yes, yes. Well, I'm gonna get right into it. I mean, granted, we were talking about this before the shows. You guys have been the guests who have come on my show the most. Probably the most fun. Always a tad bit different energy level every single time. And having you guys on is always great because I know we can get out there for sure.
Yeah.
But of course, as promised, you guys are going on tour, and I wanted to have you back on and promote the tour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks
Yes.
for having us. And
Victory dance. I mean,
man.
it's not over yet, but as far as
man,
getting
are we
some
so
shows.
stoked to be able to go on our inaugural tour. It's our first West Coast tour. We're touring Oregon and California.
And it's with our good friends, the Roomy Depth, too.
Roomy
Those
Depth.
guys are awesome.
Not to
bro.
mention,
Is that a group?
Well, the
Uh-huh.
Roomy Depth is James Dean's and his buddy, and together they're the Roomy Depth. Like you might know James Dean's as a Destructo Bunny,
Sí.
who's a freestyle
who's been, yeah.
legend in Ocean Beach, San Diego. But he now goes by Sun Yoga. He's now Sun.
Does he
Yoga.
still respond to Destructo Bunny though?
I think like
Yeah.
Shout out!
I think he would
shout
respond
out!
to it, you know. But
Yeah.
I think like he's
transitioning
he's made a
because
transition.
just new chapters.
Dude, I remember he was one of the only dudes I first saw who like made his own hat, and he had like a Destructo Bunny hat, and I was like, dude, that's so gangster. I want to make my own hat.
Well, I mean, like that stuff just kind of happens in life, you know, where like you get like names are kind of given, right? So you can't really make up a nickname for yourself or whatever. I mean, I guess you can. I'm not too sure about his name, but I just know that's what he went by in the beginning, and he was just so good and so popular that you know, that's what everyone knew him by. And then as life goes on, you know, he made some changes, and now he wants to be called Sun Yoga, and I respect that. You know, it's just that so many people know him as Destructo. It's
Yeah,
kinda
he's got a
hard, you
really
know?
big rep, and he is connected really well with the underground hip hop scene. And so much love to James for putting a lot of
whole
this
lot of
tour
love,
together
love.
Dude,
for
James
us
is tight.
and bringing us along on the tour. Not to
Yeah.
mention, he got a sick headliner for a lot of our dates. We got the living legend himself, Scarab from the Living Legends,
Epic.
headlining
That's sick.
5 or 6 of our shows,
Yeah.
and we're so psyched to play. I grew up listening to him in the Legends.
The Living Legends.
12 years
Eli,
ago, the
Grouch,
Living Legends, yeah.
Lucky I Am, you know, all
Cali
those guys.
underground hip hop, and it's just crazy. He's still touring. His energy is amazing.
He's the
And
man, bro.
we're stoked. We got so much to look forward to right now. So we will be coming to a city near you in Cali and Oregon. So you got to come check out the
We'll
Flowmads.
pull up
How
the
many
flyer,
how many
bro.
tours?
Where's
how many
where's
tour
the
dates is it?
bro?
We got 12 dates. We had 12 dates. I think maybe one of them got scratched, but we're going to be adding dates in Santa Cruz and potentially another one in Sacktown where it was supposed to be. Well, it might be SF actually. But either way, 11 nights of where we're going to be, and it's over almost 3 weeks, 3 weekends. We're cruising, making a lot of mileage.
That's
I'm
what's
grabbing
up.
the
Probably like
flyer,
3,000
bro.
miles.
Where are you guys gonna
Or
like
more.
fly,
Details
or
here.
are you gonna start here, or are you gonna start in Oregon and come down?
No, we're driving the whole thing, right?
Yeah, driving the whole thing. So
So
we
that's
start
what I mean, though.
halfway up. We're gonna
Okay.
start halfway up Cali. Go stay in Central Cal. Go north. Make it all the way, I think, to Eugene. We're gonna make it back down the coast, SoCal, back to San Diego, and we close it out here, THC, on October 6th. So yeah, we're stoked.
I mean,
we
if
got
you want to get super detailed, you can get super detailed.
You want
bro.
the deets?
Yeah, tell them the
You want the
venues,
deets?
bro.
so we got
Whose phone is that?
I'm gonna turn whoops. Oh gosh.
I mean, it could be mine, dude.
Yeah,
Don't they
cheers.
know? Don't they tell
Don't
little
they
kids
know?
that kind of shit? Turn your phone off before the
Yeah,
flight fucking
yeah,
starts.
yeah.
you know? Before
All
the
right,
movie
so,
starts.
Yeah, we got Merced, Placerville, San Fran, Shasta. We're going to Mount Shasta.
Oh,
I
sick.
used to
course
ski up
we
there
are,
when I
bro.
was a kid growing up.
Tight.
I
And
used to drink the soda.
Ashland, Oregon, Grant Pass, Oregon, Eugene, Folsom, Slow, LA,
Folsom.
Lancaster, OB.
A pub, you know? I
Damn.
think I get to
Yeah,
see a lot
and
of
then
my
we also have a
peoples.
couple one-off shows in San Diego following that too, so you can come scope us. We're gonna have some new shit by the,
Oh, well,
by
we're
the
gonna
end
end
of
that
this.
tour at the holding company, which is gonna be awesome.
October 6th.
Yeah.
That's
Shout out to the
that's
holding
a Sunday.
company.
Sunday fun day.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I'm there.
THC.
I'll come and hang out.
Yeah.
Hell
Love it.
yeah, they got the brand new system. They've just renovated the whole place. It's a really dope venue now.
Dude, that'd be the second show I'd go. Oh, fuck. All right, just one more.
Oh, rip that shit.
Dude, I already.
Going full circle though, the point is that he will respond to Destructo Bunny. Okay, I don't think he hates on that because so many people
Nah,
know him by that.
That's
you know?
how I met him. James is fucking
He's
cool,
just the
bro.
man, you know, and
Yeah.
it's just like that kind of stuff happens. So I think like it just kind of you gain these aliases, you know, like you could have multiple like nicknames almost or something like that. So, but just a heads up, you know, Sun Yoga, aka James Dean's, you know,
Sick.
On
used to
tour
be
with
known
us
as
in his
Destructo
new
Bunny.
group's called the Roomy Depth.
Right.
They're
The
bringing
Roomy
that
And-
conscious hip hop.
And then is it just you four? And
Four of
then
us and Scarab. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
3 acts.
Sick.
Yeah, Scarab's
three
gonna
acts,
be like
so-
on all the weekend shows, like the Friday
And then
and Saturday shows.
and
stuff
a
like
lot
that.
of our dates, we have a bunch of really dope local acts coming out to represent and throw their music in the mix too. So we get to collab with a bunch of other artists on this tour.
I'm
so we're
interested in
psyched.
talking to Scarab about his name, like because that's like a really cool name, and I've been watching a lot of stuff on like Egyptian, like just culture or whatever. And the Scarab's a really interesting like insect, you know. And I think
Is
like
it?
what they were using it. Like, do you know what they
It's kind of sacred and
well, yeah, I mean, like, do you know what it symbolizes though?
No, I didn't even know
Break
it was
it
a
down.
thing.
From what I would see, like if you look at this right here, I know the audience can't see it, but you can kind of see how that looks like a scarab, that ashtray. Yeah, how you have like the
shell.
shell or the
What is
base,
it?
you
An
know?
insect or what is it?
Scarab's a beetle.
Yeah,
It's a beetle.
It's a dung beetle. It like rolls the dung around,
But
but
check
it's like
this out though.
really pretty, beautiful,
Yeah.
like black, like opal.
But the
color.
idea is what they were
Okay.
saying was that like what they were trying to say is that like it represented like the brain, you know. So like when you cut it in half, you have the left side over here and the right side, and then it kind of broke all these different parts down and stuff. It was really interesting, you know, because they made it make a lot of sense. And I don't know, man. I'm just thinking of like that name and how it was cool, and it'd be cool to talk to him about that stuff. That's all.
Mhm.
That'd be tight. I was actually thinking about. Have we talked about how you got your name? I think we.
Yeah, I
have.
think we have talked
Okay. We
about
talked
that.
about that.
Yeah, dude,
we
definitely.
talk about
Shout out to my boy Wilds Bronner. He definitely
The
he gave me my
prophecy and
name.
all that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, all
Okay,
that
yeah, we
stuff,
definitely
you
did.
know.
I was because like all this name talk.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, I guess I bring that up too, just because I've been watching all that stuff, and when you think about like just the idea of civilizations and cultures and stuff like that, me and Shansu were talking about that a little bit, just like those older civilizations, you know, are we better than them? Like, what do
More
you think about, like, are we more advanced? Like, I mean, like, all that
Dude.
stuff, because they obviously knew some stuff, and let's say, like, aliens are not in the picture.
Whoa.
I mean, obviously they are, but
This
if they
conversation
are,
is taking a turn right now.
but if they aren't, then, like, the stuff that they did was pretty mean, you know, and
What?
the stuff that they accomplished as far as
The
buildings
ancient
or-
civilizations, like the
No,
more
like
history we find
Göbekli
out,
Tepe and stuff like that.
the more history we find out, the more we find out they're far more advanced than we could ever possibly have imagined. In fact, to the point that we can't figure out how they did the shit they did.
Right. Well, that's what I'm asking you, is that, like, just because we're further down the timeline, you know, like we're right now the modern man, does that mean that we're better than the person who built Machu Picchu, or that man who built the Colosseum, or the man who built the pyramids, you know? Because it seemed like they were pretty sophisticated, or the stuff that they did was pretty unreal. We can't even do that right now with the stuff we have, you know?
Fuck, man. I don't know. I honestly,
Unless it
I
was, like,
don't
just
even.
building off stuff that was already there. You
I
know,
was
maybe
just
that
talking to a
stuff was
homie about
alright.
this the other day. I was like, bro, honestly, I want to go see the pyramids just to go see it, just because the fact that you can get it the point it was, or the fact that it was it's like geographically placed where it's at. I
Oh,
think,
yeah,
so
that's pretty
many things
insane.
about
dude,
it.
it's crazy,
I can-
bro.
The
Yeah.
facts that they lay out are kind of mind blowing.
There's some crazy mathematical
can't be
facts about, like,
coincidence.
down to like literally less than like an eighth of an inch. There are the measurements of the pyramids are perfect regarding these sort of geometric fundamentals.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, we like it's this huge of a scale, but it's down to an eighth of an inch, and it like represents exactly what the like organization of the Orion's belt stars are, and all these other different things. Like, just there's a crazy rundown. We'll have to send you like a video about it. These experts are like, yo,
Dude.
this is not like normal shit. Like, no one just comes up with a pyramid like this out of nowhere, and then you look into it and find that every aspect of this has been planned out to the perfect like dimensions.
Not to mention all the
Dude.
other.
But we
crazy
don't know
stuff.
what
I
they
get so
used it
excited.
for.
Well,
Like
dude, okay.
electromagnetism, or like
But
that
no.
kind of placement. Because, like, we were also talking about just
Bro,
that
but wait for a
idea
second.
of,
Wait.
like- Go ahead.
What about like Rome on that aspect? Have you guys, dude? I was just there, and you fucking to see the
Oh.
Colosseums and the thing, like the
columns and
the columns and all that
the
shit.
marble carvings.
Bro, they didn't have anything else to do but to do that shit, and they fucking made it look amazing. And they're trying to like dig to the original floor of what it is, because people just kept building on top of each other.
in this, yeah.
And then they uncovered these things that people have built over, when like they call it the pagans, who would believed in like multiple gods and shit. But it's like, dude,
it's called the classic era. It's like before, it's the Greeks, and before the Greeks, like the Phoenicians and all these other like older civilizations. I took classics in college, and like those civilizations are also just crazy. The things
Dude,
that they
the things they were
developed,
able
a
to
lot of those
do-
things carried over to our society.
Well, like,
even
with
like
your-
the plumbing that they would do, and all like the way
Uh-huh.
that they made water run through the area. But like, bro, they said that the heyday of Rome was probably like
Way
4,000
back.
years before the Roman Empire collapsed at like 400 BC or
400 AD, yeah.
It's like,
Something like that.
bro, there's some like
Humans were rolling.
humans
hard,
have been
dude.
around for a minute. We're just a new fucked up version of it.
Yeah. I think we got it figured out with the sorts of technology that we use, because we kind of have like cheats, but we kind of skip the fundamentals of like staying in alignment with what the world is about, like what the universe is about, like keeping the systems like holistic. So like, if we had thought about that, we wouldn't create a bunch of vehicles that are burning like these fuels that are damaging the atmosphere. You know what I mean? And we wouldn't be clear cutting all the
See,
plants
that's
that
my
are creating the
question.
atmosphere. You know, we
Is
would be
that
like,
does
yo,
those ancient civilizations have, like, did they know, like, were they like, hey, we could build cars or we could do all this stuff, but like, we know how important it is to take care of Earth too, in our relationship with the Earth, that we don't want to hurt it. So like,
yeah,
because they still had, like, with some of the evidence I've seen, at least some of the stuff I've seen, like, they knew how to like make batteries, you know, like they knew how to like provide like energy or like
There's carvings of
like
batteries.
different, like they knew
What?
how to like do
What
different
are
like
fuck-
stuff.
there's
You know?
I've
carvings of
never heard what
batteries.
you guys are
There's
talking about.
Egyptian
Yeah,
carvings that look
no.
like batteries. They look like
Well,
a
I mean,
capacitor.
like, just think about it though. Like, gold is like the best conductor for electricity. You know, it's one of the best, anyways.
One of the best.
So it's like they were so into gold, and everyone was so into gold, and people think like maybe it was shiny and it represented the sun, but there had to be more to it. You know, like, and that's just like a spitballing that kind of shit because I know like gold represents all kinds of stuff.
Dude, I
especially, like,
fucking
if you have
love
a
gold.
chain, you
I mean,
know.
Yeah.
drip is tight, which is like diamonds and
know.
platinum, but dude, you can't beat gold, bro.
Gold, yeah.
Dude, you have like a diamond, or I mean, a gold fucking pinky ring, son. That's just stee. You know what I'm saying? And that
Yeah.
translates.
Son.
That translates fucking millennia.
Gold is still the
Yo.
the gold standard. That's
Son.
what we measure value on is gold.
I envision myself like as a G ass pharaoh. Like in the Egyptian time, I would wear like so many gold things. Just like, son, like hit me with the gold. Let me get a couple rings, get a couple chains. My fucking pharaoh top would be gold as fuck.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah.
I'd be telling him like,
Stay
I
gold,
need
pony boy.
I need gold in my
Stay
mouth,
golden,
and then
pony
make a
boy.
grill in like whatever year in the Egyptian era.
They'd figure it out.
Dude, guarantee.
But coming back to like what you're saying though, like with the Romans or with all these societies, like the length of time that people had to work to create these works of architecture were sometimes longer than a lifetime and sometimes longer than generations, like three or four generations. So 3 or 4, like almost 300 years to create these Colosseums. So these men would work towards a goal that they know they would never see because they can't do it quickly enough.
Well, that's like
And
the
they used to
church
do that
in Barcelona.
The churches, the churches too. It's like, it's unbelievable. And now we're just so used to like the gratification of finishing things right away.
But not only the gratification, but it's just like the accommodation of having stuff so quick too. You know, like back then,
Like a couple
there was
years
something to
instead
be
of
said about
generation.
having patience. You know, like just building stuff. Like I understand like hundreds of years to build something. What about like charting the stars and those civilizations that like took like hundreds upon thousands of years of just like mapping the stars and getting stuff lined up perfectly for like solstice and stuff like that. Like they knew something, you know, it wasn't just like, you know, don't get me wrong, maybe that knowledge came from somewhere else, like another life form or whatever, but to be like that far back in the timeline and to know that kind of stuff and to be able to predict stuff and like, I mean, that's really powerful stuff, you know, especially
what
if like
about-
you're ignorant, you know.
Yeah,
like,
it's
But
like-
wait, I got a question with that real quick.
like what about the Mayan
But
calendar,
wait,
like
wait,
with
wait,
your
wait,
bloodline?
wait,
Like
before-
those priests
don't-
had power.
Hold on.
Like,
hold
give
on.
me the calendar and let
No,
me tell you when
no.
the sun's gonna rise.
Wait.
And give me all your motherfucking
wait,
gold.
Sis Flo, stop.
I'll
Stop,
show
stop,
you
stop.
who's pharaoh.
Okay.
I'll make the sun rise.
How do you think? Because you're like jumping around so much. I gotta like. You had a really good point there. The following the stars. How is it that people realize that stars outside of our universe are actually mapping you around this planet, and they do it successfully? That to me is
that's
how
just
does
because,
that?
like, because that's what I mean. The
like you
patience
said,
of looking
time,
at it
the
every
time,
single night, you know,
they
and
stayed
seeing
with
how
it,
like
and
goes.
they were able to draw relationships between what they saw and what occurred. So like
Because stuff would
that's just,
disappear.
it's just a
and
testament to
reappear,
the
bro.
consciousness of human beings, like the self-awareness of like, oh wait, okay, so that star, I can see it goes around every night. It goes around every night. I watched it the whole way. And then at other times of the year, compared to that mountain, is closer or farther away. I did it in astronomy. You like watch the sun phases and like you draw it
Oh,
over
you took
6 weeks.
astronomy?
You take 6 weeks
I
and
took
like the sun
astronomy.
will be here next to like a building when it's setting. And 3 weeks later, it'll be behind the building. And 3
No,
weeks
I
later,
understand
it'll be
that, but the fact of the
So-
matter is that. See, this is okay. Let me explain my question a little bit better.
past- Okay.
What I'm trying
Motor.
to say, even different about that, it's like, how is it that what we see in the sky that has an effect on our planet? Meaning, like, there's gravitational pulls, or
The
because you
moon
see like
cycles,
the
stuff
moon
like that,
cycles.
especially because it's so close. The sun cycles, obviously, too. So
That's-
how is it that we were able to, same thing,
the
time.
gravity's being pulled from the
same
sun.
thing,
We're
time,
in-
generations, hundreds and thousands of years of people watching, and
I think
then
it's just straight
writing
up like
what they-
for every
writing what they
action there's
thought.
an opposite or equal
wait.
reaction. So it's like the minute that there is movement, the minute the universe started, you're just gonna have things
What?
moving around.
what, what the fuck are you talking?
I'm answering your question.
Time out. Equal and opposite reaction. Newton answers everything.
That's what I'm saying. Because you're saying
Do
like
you even science, bro?
Did this guy even know?
he's like
basic?
they're scientists, bro.
You just started throwing out a lob. Like what?
Because you're this is exactly why. Because you're saying like, oh, how are these guys able to look out and see how like other stars and other things in the universe have effect, whether it's like gravitational pull, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm trying to tell you that because since the beginning of time, when the universe first started, there was that movement. For some reason, movement anywhere, there's something else being affected by that, no matter how small or how big your movement is. We
So
can
you're
talk
saying
about
everything
like,
is connected.
Everything's interconnected.
some way somehow it is, but it's just so whether we're talking about minor stuff like us being here and like doing little human things, or like the universe spreading and all that Big Bang and all that balls of gas, whatever you want to talk about. You know, I'm just basically
What?
answering.
Are you a
your
flat
question.
earther right now? Are you?
No. I'm basically just answering your question, saying that's the.
Are you a
that's how
young
they
earther?
Knew.
There's like a young
They
earther.
knew all that stuff was going on because they knew that like, hey, you know what, if I drop a rock, it's going to hit the ground. That's why, like, when we're talking about Isaac Newton again, he's talking about the apple and that whole idea about him, like, elaborating on gravity. We knew it was always there. It was just, you know, for him to be able to, like, take it and put it in front of our faces so that we could acknowledge it and be conscious of it. That's where it's at right there, you know?
You couldn't see what you need if it hit you on the head like an apple from a tree.
Yeah, see,
were like a
Shanti wrote a
breeze.
line about that shit, bro.
Yeah, that's a
What?
reference to Newton in a rap song.
Is that like a new rap lyric that you're gonna have come out?
No, that's an old rap lyric. That's
an old rap lyric.
We got archives,
If
bro.
you haven't heard that one, I wonder if that's still up on my SoundCloud.
Like, have you seen Minority Report, bro?
With Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Nah.
And they got, all the
maybe.
files of the people.
But Minority Report, wasn't it like they predicted you were gonna kill somebody like a couple days, and then they would arrest you based on the
They
fact
arrest
that
you before, but then
See, this is interesting because it's about the future. So it's like
That's some
there's like
bullshit.
they had a unit called the pre-crime unit.
future.
Yeah.
One side ain't what it used to be.
New
day. Here you are, coming around again.
Yeah, it's true though. The
Dude,
future
you guys
is
are like
fucking
a real
spooky,
life
bruh.
fucking like movie.
No, but I'm trying to tell you though,
breaking
like
out
they
the
had
song and
a
shit.
unit. It was called a pre-crime unit, and they basically like had these
Can you
people
just do
who
it like
could
a
see the
rap like
future,
that?
bro.
If you guys just feel
No,
the
we
flow?
have a rap. It's called The Future, and it's actually that's why we did that in sync because
But I had a
we
feeling, but
practice
it's
stuff
like
so much that it seems
That
like
it just
it's
comes
awesome.
out.
But it's
that's what
really
I'm
just
saying. If you
second
have like a
nature
moment
to
where you
us.
just want to bust a rap where you guys are just bouncing off each other, that'd be sick too.
No,
Just saying.
That's not gonna happen.
That was
on
the
this
rap. That
podcast,
was the
bro.
singing
You got to
part.
come see us on tour if you want to see the raps.
Yeah.
Well, wait.
I'll send you
okay,
the
before we
flyer.
get,
Holler
like-
at me
wait,
at
wait, wait.
Sizflow Instagram, at Sizflow Twitter.
Okay, wait. Before,
Flowmads
what-
Instagram.
Are you like
And find us
checking
on
out right now?
Spotify.
No.
I had one thing I wanted to before we go back into space and stuff like that, where we're getting a little lost.
Yeah.
Inner space, bro.
I want to talk about the show that you guys had at Music Box.
Oh, you were at
Oh,
that one,
shit.
yeah?
Fuck yeah! I was at
Oh,
that show. Come on, what are you
shit.
talking about? I hung out with you, fool. I
Man,
was
I was
with
trying to make
you.
it seem all
You were in the
natural
green
and
room.
creepy.
Yeah, I was
and
in the
then
green
You
room
had to
there.
call me out, bro.
I took a fucking photo of you two.
Yeah. I was trying to make
we
it
shared
seem
it.
all
They
random
were there?
and serendipitous, dude.
Bro.
And now you just call me out like that. Man.
Bro.
No, we have Mad Squad out for that, so thanks to
Shout
everybody.
out to Nohe and Kaika, bro. They hooked
shout
that
out
show
to,
up.
Mr.
Wolfgram.
Axe and Leilani.
Oh yeah, Andrew
Mr. Axe.
Ackerley.
Yeah, Leilani was cool.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Ackerley. I miss you, Ackerley, bro. How you doing, man?
Dude.
Out there in space.
And then
I hope
fucking
these radio waves hit you, bro.
shout out the brothers Galvez were in full effect.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
shout out to
Oh, yeah.
Drainus,
Yeah.
Nico and Dre.
And Tommy.
Tommy
Manai.
Tommy Manai.
Yeah, dude, Manger was there.
Tommy
right?
Manai,
Was Manger
so
there?
fly.
Yeah,
yep,
Manger
yep.
was there.
Manger Management was there.
Who else was there?
But you know, like the thing about that show that was awesome was the venue, like the sound system and everything.
Dude.
The people there were awesome.
Best
That venue
spot.
is so amazing. We
Yeah.
love the music.
I could actually
box.
hear myself in the
Sounds
monitors.
So good.
bro. It
Dude,
was
you guys
We
looked
had a
sick being on the
blast.
stage.
It was fun.
Everybody was all hyped. I was fucking in the crowd like, son.
Bruh,
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
I'm
we were
glad you
hyped.
could feel that because we do that for you, Connell, bro.
It's the only
Dude.
the one thing is they got those subs right in the front, so like the people can't get that close to you, And like, I want to be like right where we can almost like reach you. That's how hip hop is. It's like, yo, you want to fucking like touch hands and like fucking energy. You know?
Dude, you wear that hat every time you rap.
Yeah, that's the Flowmads hat.
That's your hat.
It's the signature.
Describe your hat to people.
I used to have that hat when I was a little kid.
Describe that hat to
It's
people.
called. I call it the Yankee Doodle Dandy hat.
That's what I thought it looked like.
The
too.
Yankee Doodle Dandy hat. I mean, that describes it.
Well, because
like
like he put a fucking feather in his hat and called it macaroni, you know, and that's exactly what that hat is. It's the fucking shit.
Yeah, it's like if you're confident enough to call your hat macaroni with the feather in it, like you can fucking literally do anything you want.
Oh, you named your hat macaroni?
No, I just called it macaroni. Like Yankee, you know the Yankee Doodle song.
Yankee dude. Okay.
Went to town riding on a
his
pony.
Stuck his finger up his butt and called it macaroni.
What kind of versions you learning? What are they teaching kids in school these days? That's it. I'm homeschooling my kids.
Dude, that was,
I've had it up
I
to
haven't
here.
thought about that song in years.
Hey, you know what's
yo.
crazy?
Oh my
Is
God.
that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star has the same melody as ABC.
Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. What?
A B C D E F G. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Yeah? No.
No.
Yeah,
What
man.
the
I just
fuck?
learned that, bro. Shout out to my boy Zach. Shout out to Sam.
What are you fucking doing?
Shout out to the Twinkle Twinkle.
It is. It's the same melody.
Hey, yo, Mason. Shout out to Mason. Get some
right.
sleep out there. Get some Z's.
Get all your
Say hi to the
shout-outs.
my
Get all your
God.
shout-outs.
Say hi to the
Get all your
Sandman
shout-outs
for me.
in. Shout outs to our
Y'all are
booking
killing me
manager,
right now.
Hillary, Mystery Hills,
Hills.
killing it.
Oh
She
my
was there
God.
for our music box show too, and she's fucking dope, crushing it for us. She's got our back so hard, and it's like very humbling and very validating to have people be like, we believe in what you're doing,
Yeah,
and we're like, yeah, we're spreading good vibes and taking this stuff like beyond what we thought we could.
Intergalactic, bro.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, intergalactic.
Shout out to the powers that be. You know, that's amazing.
Think about intergalactic, dude. I went to the craziest intergalactic party you could possibly imagine.
All right, that's it. I'm gonna fucking light this joint.
No,
up.
he's
gonna be
over
talking
it. Yeah.
about these
Okay, so
intergalactic
you just went to Burning
parties,
Man,
bro.
Chauncey. You just went to Burning Man.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
burn one down if we're gonna talk about Burning Man.
Dude, fucking light it up, bro. I'm not stopping you. That's for you anyways.
All I need
I
is
rolled
a
that for
miracle.
you, my G.
All I need is you.
I said that is for you, my
All
G.
I need is a miracle. All I need is a miracle.
See.
Dude, I saw this thing the other day where this lady was singing like, if God don't do it, it won't get done. All we need is a miracle.
Dude.
But it's true though. It's like it's weird, you know, because it's like we
Yeah.
work so hard to get all these things done, but if you don't have the mystery on your side, then you just get
It
thrown
ain't gonna
curveballs.
Can I tell you a story like that? I was playing 6ix9ine. Billy, if you know the song, it's like
Oh yeah,
shots. just like, and I was blasting it out of my Prius, yo. I roll up to Lucadia Boulevard, windows down, just like not giving a fuck. There's this dude standing there, right? He has a sign, you know, please help, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just looking at me like that. He like lowers his head and like looks in my car. And then this like lady walks across the street, like hands homeboy like $1. She just eyes me out hard, just like, you know, giving me that like looking from like a left
Stink
to right.
eye.
Yeah, super stank eye. Looking at. She like leans over to my car. She's like, "You need Jesus."
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. It's true. You need a little Jesus in your life.
Yo,
You'd be
I'm
surprised
not
what
real,
Jesus
though.
does for you.
Jesus.
Bro.
Jesus.
I was like,
There's many.
that
Jesuses.
was tight. I was like, I'm with that. Let me know.
I agree, lady.
If God don't do it, it won't get
Thank you.
done.
That man
All we
needs
need is a
Jesus too.
miracle.
So.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's true.
It was hilarious.
So what? You're at the most galactic party of all time.
It felt like the most intergalactic rager. It felt like I was at
Intergalactic
this like
planetary.
intergalactic
Space party.
space. Well, like it's like a post, an outpost where everybody has to stop through, so you get the most crazy mix of people or beings, whatever there, and there's just a wealth of abundance. So everybody just does whatever they want, and you wind up with the craziest sculptures, artwork, music, everybody's down that you can play music and do whatever the fuck you want. It's not going to bother somebody else's music. Like, everybody is super down to
Now,
be
hold on,
like,
real-
express yourself, do whatever you want, as long as you're being like kind and respectful to other beings in this fucking world.
You
And
can
so,
play
like,
as loud as you want, as much as you want.
anything you want, dude. There's people riding by with they got music on their bikes. There's people driving by with huge cars that look like a giant glowing
But what
salamander.
if you enjoy the people,
and
but
they
you just
got
want
music,
quiet? What if you just
and
want a
they
little
can pull
peace
up
and
with their
quiet out in
music
the
next to
desert?
another stage that's loud as shit?
What
and-
if, like, you're not hating, you just want a little quiet?
You guys
You're
are
welcome to that
insane.
too.
I like me some quiet. I like me some peace. I like me some quiet. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern?
Then maybe you shouldn't go to that party.
No, I think I like
It's
it.
7 days, right?
I think it's
Mhm.
good.
You go the whole time?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. How long did it take you to recover from that?
As at least like 2 days of like not feeling like I was in sync.
Still
or-
recovering, I see.
Yeah, I wasn't like hungover or anything. A little tired, but just feeling very like just integrating that experience back into like trying to get back into a regular routine.
Well, you just had this endorphin rush that was like absolutely insane.
Yeah. It's not even from like becoming intoxicated, because you just get
No.
intoxicated by the novelty of like the amount of things you see and experience. And there's a lot to that. It's not just bright lights and loud noises, but there's tons of
Loud
bright lights and loud noises.
noises.
I'll tell you that much.
Very
really good
loud
music. Amazing. Like it's like
noises.
there's stages. Every block you go by, there's another stage that's the biggest sound system you've ever heard in your life, blasting something different that's brand new or fucking recognizable. You don't know what you're going to encounter.
Wow.
It's like a sea of bikes that are flickering. It felt like being on the ocean floor with these like bioluminescent beings that are like riding around as like school of
Bioluminescent.
fish. And then you can cruise and do whatever you want. It's like pick your own adventure. You can cruise out to the deep playa and find like crazy shit out. There's like a gas station out there. We went
Would
to a
you say
pineapple
that,
bar.
like, when you're out there, when you first get there or when you leave or both, that there's some kind of culture shock?
Probably from the very beginning is a culture shock, because it's just like a massive. It's like a festival, but it's just on such a more immense scale. And
Because there's
top,
enough people there. It's like a small city.
70,000 people.
it's a
and
small-
on
I mean,
top
70,000 people.
And on top of that, so there's like I had friends there that I didn't see the whole time, and because we didn't have service, so it's hard to be like, oh shit, where were they camping at? I don't remember their address.
Smoke signals.
And but like the other culture shock is just the fact that everyone is there for each other. They're down to help each other, to be there for each other, to give whatever is necessary to make sure everyone gets by in the best that they can. And it's crazy that people are able to just take that mentality and live it for that moment. And I feel like a lot of people are like, yeah, they do it for just a week or whatever, but I try to bring it back into my life all the time. Like, you know what? No, I'm there for other people all the time. My resources are just like limitless when it comes to me being able to see a way to help somebody and just take a moment to fucking do it. And that's what happens at Burning Man. People are like, oh, you need some, dude. And they stop. Like, I stopped. This guy was like, hey, wait, hold on. Flag me down. I'm like, what's up, dude? He looked like Santa Claus, and he had this like buggy. And he's like, I just need to start my buggy. I can't like get to the gas station, and I can't start it because I need to be in the seat to like hit the gas. I was like, yeah, I got you, dude. Like, pulled the fucking thing for him, and then like lost my friends, but it's all good. Like, found him in a bit.
You're
and
all
like,
over the
yeah.
place right now.
So, but that's the
Love it.
culture is like,
Yes.
and you don't have to buy anything. You bring enough that you can share with people what you have.
That's tight.
And then everybody does that. And then some people plan like a lot. There's like people making like thousands of grilled cheese. There's people out on deep playa making fresh churros.
Hold on real quick. With all
In
the
the
people
morning,
that
there's,
are
like,
Fresh churros?
fresh churros. We just riding our bikes.
But all the people like
Churro-
cooking all that
churro-
food and all the bike riding is interesting. But I have a quick question, real quick. About
Okay,
all
how
this.
quick?
So like when we're talking about like almost a city there, like you're saying over 70,000 people, right, or something like that,
Yeah.
and everybody's helping each other out and everything like that. Do you think that the people who attend that could sustain that, you know, like if they had their own city, like literally, let's say that like these people actually got a little chunk of land out of nowhere, whether it was like Wyoming or Montana or like somewhere in the middle, like land nobody wanted, and these these 70,000 people could all like come together, do you think that that could sustain and that that's a possibility, or do you think that that's just like, nah, Burning Man's only a once a year thing that people can handle doing that?
I think actually, so Burning Man is a huge celebration. So for that period of time, there's like an excess of abundance that we bring to it. And that's probably not sustainable to be able to be like going that hard, partying, listening to music that much, like 24/7 the whole time.
It's only a week
But-
thing, once a year.
But I do imagine that there could be a city that's self-sustaining, that has enough agriculture around it and enough culture within it to have innovation. People have purposes in their lives and they can share, and they actually would just find a way to be productive in society and not needing to have monetary, like an agreement made into a piece of paper to do these things, which is what money is. And so I think it's possible. I think for the earth, it'd be really tough unless we were able to just have something that unified us so much that we're like, fuck, we need to be like this, or it's the end. And we all, because then it would have to be global, because the amount of, like, you know, it's a global world now. Like, everything's getting traded. Like, we need resources. We do have to share resources, and we have to be very smart in the way we plan and use them. And but for example, like looking at Burning Man, there's one resource that you can buy, and that's ice. And the operation at ice is very streamlined. They got these huge semis. They bring ice in. The line is very well like maintained. They got people, and it's so cool. People are so polite, but like there's people that dude's job for a couple hours is to be out front and be like, when people pull up on their bikes and they don't know, you shouldn't just park wherever. They ask them to put it in the bike racks so that there's organization where you can walk in between, and everything is like very smooth and streamlined. And I think that's a really good example of how society can be. And like we do that. We do create all these rules, but at some point there's like so many rules. And here it's not so many rules. It's just the golden rule is the most important one, you know, like treat everybody with kindness and help accommodate them with what they need, because they're going to do the same for you, rather than like, don't drive over 65 miles an hour. You know, like someone needs to get there faster. That's okay if we fucking understand that and we can give them space to do it. That's what the mentality needs to be from human beings. Like, it's all compassion for each other. We're all in this like life where we have good things and bad things that we have to struggle with. And so like when you have the opportunity to celebrate that, that's why Burning Man happens. It's just this crazy celebration of art and expression and community. And like, yeah, there are some downsides. Yes, burning all this stuff sends gases into the atmosphere. However, I think it's a good example of how we can like change our thinking and like, you know what I mean? That's just for me. I had a big takeaway. Like, I felt way different coming back.
Was
Like,
that your first festival ever?
That was my first Burning Man. No, I've been going to festivals for several years now,
Okay.
like really getting attuned to like what it is that goes on, the way the community is in festivals. And so a lot of the conscious festivals with electronic music, live music combinations are really cool. There's people that do things where when I was growing up, I didn't think that was an option, to be like this person that creates this kind of like artwork and lives off of it, or creates like a new like biodegradable straws or whatever people are making, you know what I mean? And they're all small, and yet they have this community around them. They're like, that's cool. We believe in that. We're all going to support you. So like when your friends buy your shit, your community is supporting you economically, and then you are in the community buying stuff from them. And it's just, it's
a circle.
Feedback loop that just keeps working. But anyways,
That's sick.
so for me, it's not for everybody. Burning Man's not for everybody. You got to be fucking rugged. You got to be rugged if you want to go out and live in the fucking dry alkaline lake bed for fucking 7 days when it gets windy, sometimes cold, definitely hot as shit. And
You got to embrace the pain.
And bring everything you need and not leave anything at all that you brought. That's another huge thing for it. It's like, it's leave no trace. And I was like, it's pretty much really important, because versus other festivals where they leave tons of trash, everything's like messed up. And a lot of festivals I've seen, you're leaving, you're like, fuck, these people just trashed it. The thing is, it's not necessarily leave no trace. It's leave as little trace as possible, because you can't leave no trace. But having that mentality of leave no trace means that you leave the smallest amount of impact possible. And that shows, man. It makes a big difference. It's like if companies went by the leave no trace mentality, they wouldn't be fucking the planet up like they have for so many years. They'd be like, oh shit, we're leaving a lot of trace right now. We got to change the way we operate, even if that means less profit.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a cool model. There's a lot to be learned and gained from it.
Tight.
And it's super fun as shit.
I bet. Yeah. You sound like
crazy.
You sound like me after the first time I went to Coachella. Like, oh my god, it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like I
What
graduated.
kind of drugs you guys doing at these festivals?
I felt like I
Dude, we
graduated.
cannot
It's like
talk
when you
about that.
it's like when you went to your first party, and then you went to like your first really good high school party, and then you went to your first college party, and then you went to your first party where there was like all kinds of people, and you just keep going, okay, wow, this gets better. Like you can have as much fun as you want and not hurt people. And like, especially when there's no like authorities around.
There's two things that
But
make
no.
a party good.
What the fuck?
And then you go to this
That's
party and you're just
girls
like,
and
I cannot
drugs.
believe the things. Because like everywhere you look, there is something crazy going on that would be a really good plot in a movie. Like straight up. There's like
What, at festivals and stuff like that?
yeah, all of a sudden there's this like giant sculpture of an octopus shooting flames out, like driving by your camp where someone's like playing and doing like a hula hoop.
Oh, we still talking about the
Class.
burn?
I don't
Or
know.
something.
I don't know what he's talking about
Yeah,
right now.
at the
He
burn.
just. Oh,
At the
no, you
burn.
went back to the burn? Oh.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to tell you, dude.
What
like these
happened?
things, like they're so inspirational, you know. And it's interesting when everyone tells their stories because it's hard to pay attention to every single thing, you know.
Yeah, it is.
There's so much stuff going on at all these.
But you
things.
get the
I could
vibe.
only imagine Burning Man, you know.
I imagine, dude.
And
Did you ever go to
just
Cali
doesn't
Roots,
do it
Connor?
justice.
Dude, I was at like the fucking either the first or the third. I'm pretty sure it was like one of those.
See,
it was when the High Roots played, or
and
like,
that's the thing about the festivals too, is that the different genres are kind of like different vibes too. Because like
oh yeah.
when you look at the reggae scene, like I feel like there's a lot of blazing. You know, there's some drinking, there's some other stuff too, like shrooms, blah blah blah.
dude.
You know, but
Blazing
like I feel like
blunts, though,
I feel like when you go to those like more like
best.
electric, like EDC festivals, like the electric music and all that stuff. Like I feel like it's a little bit different. And then when you go to like a country festival, you know, like
yeah, you fuck with country
Stagecoach,
festivals hard.
that's like just beer drinking and whiskey, you know, basically.
that sounds
you know.
violent. That sounds super
No, it's
violent.
a
right?
Yeah,
lot of
but
fun,
so-
bro. You know,
Dude, whiskey. I know how whiskey makes me feel. Every time I drink whiskey, I get fucking turned like hard.
Whiskey's awesome, bro. But it depends on the people too, because it's like any. I guess like if we're shifting the conversation to like just parties or having a good time, I think it's like the people, the location. You know,
How do you do 3 days of country though? On the real, talk to me. Let me.
you find your
holla at me
soulmate.
real
You
quick.
find your
Yeah.
soulmate, and you basically just try stuff that they like because you love them and you want to experience new things.
But that's not answering the question though.
Well, that's how you handle 3 days. You keep an open mind. You're just like, because don't get me wrong. Like, I think there's stereotypical stuff that has to do with country that I'm not feeling as much. But there's a lot of artists out there that are actually really good, you know, and there's a lot of really good music out there, whether we're talking about Kane Brown or some of these other artists too, you know. Like,
But what trips me out about it, and this is, I think, really what I'm trying to get at, is you go to a music festival like Coachella or Outside Lands or any of the big festivals, there's variations in the artists and different genres. You know, you have LCD Sound System, and then you'll have Future.
Mm-hmm.
At Stagecoach, it's 3 days of straight country.
No,
Is
but
there
that's what I'm
different
saying, though,
genres
is that,
of
like, if you're
country?
really into that stuff, though, you find the variation. So it's like for somebody who really isn't that into it, they'll probably be like, oh, it's all the same. But then for somebody who's into it, they see the variation, how, like, the difference between this artist to that artist, you know, whether it's somebody that's kind of more like a pop country singer, you know, or someone who's just more like country, or somebody's like
Classic.
more
People that's more like
more
Johnny
bluegrass.
Cash.
Yeah, like there's all kinds of different ways of
So
looking at it.
different variations
It's
of
just
country.
like it's also like just culture, like where you grew up and what you listen to and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
for
Like
sure.
growing up in
It could be,
Hawaii,
like,
like we listen
rock,
to
too.
everything, and a lot of the Hawaiian music actually, like I wouldn't say the Hawaiian music, but a lot of the stuff that was circulating on the radio when I was growing up, that was all like a lot of popular Hawaiian artists covering country songs. So like when I first heard those country songs, I heard them as like as Hawaiian songs, like on the radio, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
I hear them in the country genre, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was being covered the whole time, So it's like, it's a lot of things can be done about that, but not only that, but it's just like hearing the right song. So like for me, I wasn't into certain genres, and all of a sudden you hear the right song, or like you're at a party and it reminds you of that moment, and all of a sudden everything clicks. Like I remember that happening to me with like punk music. Like I wasn't a big fan of that stuff, growing up, and then all of a sudden in middle school, a bunch of guys that I was playing basketball with and hanging out with, they were always listening to like Rancid or MXPX or like Buck 09 or like
Sick.
Guttermouth, and plus all those guys surfed too and everything like that. So when we were surfing, we were listening to that kind of stuff on Dawn Patrol, like.
You surfed?
Yeah,
I
well, I
didn't know
mean,
you
like I was bodyboarding, and I was never that good, but I definitely
On Big Island,
was
yeah?
like, yeah. I mean, I've neglected my relationship with the ocean for sure, but it's just fucking, it's cool, man, being able to listen to all that stuff and just kind of put it together, like, and Burning Man, the way that Shanti was describing it to me, it just made it sound like there was just any kind of music you desired everywhere,
so
just blasted.
When it was all around. You could be out in the middle of this deep playa, which is almost probably like a mile across, little bike rides, not just on flat, so it's nothing crazy, but you can hear, if you're in the middle, you can hear it just sounds like boom, dum, 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 just boom, just bass all over the place. But like if you go around, like you were saying, there's literally every type of music. There was like a lounge, that was called the Kitty T Lounge, and they had like some smooth R&B hip hop stuff going, live R&B hip hop. There was a live stage called Reverbia where like local bands, Boostive and TV Broken played at. I was close to that. And then during the day, you just go explore the city and people are playing all kinds of music, and it's not all electronic music. It's not. And there's a lot of kind of different lifestyles and people's coming to like be a part of that. And the whole thing is that they're like really accepting and learning of other people's cultures. Like, oh shit, you do that? Oh, where are you from? Like I met so many people from Europe, South America, all these places that are just there to experience like the inner mingling of cultures. So
How do you get a ticket to Burning Man?
Well, there is like you can buy a ticket, but it's tough to get. You got to be on top of it. It's like when those really good tickets go on sale on Ticketmaster for whoever recently, like the Tool tickets or whatever, because their album release, and it just goes like the computer
fast.
system buys them up. So you got to be in line. You got to be waiting if you want to get it that way. A lot of people who have gone for a long time, when you're associated with the camp, themed camp, they get allotted a certain number of tickets.
Oh, wow.
And so you can either pay dues for your camp or be friends with people. They're going to give you a ticket because you're part of the community. You're going to come, you contribute, you like set the camp up. Like being a part of a camp is more than just showing up. There's my spot. Like you show up. You're part of the crew. You're part of the peoples. You know what I mean? It's like
you help
it's like
build
your tribe.
everything,
It's
yeah.
like your tribe.
You're on call.
Or like in my case, my camp had a conclave, which was a fire spinning conclave. So they spin fire. They had a routine set up, and so we went to the man burn, and like, so they circle all the crazy art cars around the man, right? And the art cars are fucking unbelievable. It's like fire trucks decked out with the craziest amount of decoration. So it looks like a giant dragon, or it looks like an arcade, and there's literally arcade games on it, and then there's a DJ spinning, and it's just driving around. It's a party cruising around in the desert, and there's thousands of them. So they go around the man. And then like our conclave, we got to go be able to see and watch them spin their fire, and then they burn the man, and then like then eventually it disperses from there. But like you come as, that's one of the ways to get a ticket. You come as part of a community, and you can be part of it. But it is one of the tenets, the 10 principles is radical inclusion. So it's like anybody is welcome to come to this. The whole point is because you want to open people's eyes to the fact that any people can coexist. And then how I got a ticket was encouraged to apply for a low income ticket because I'm a musician, so I have like zero income. So I applied for a low income ticket, but it was a process where I had to answer a bunch of questions. Like, what are you going to bring? What are you going to do? How are you part of this community? You know, kind of prove yourself a little bit. Why should we give you a ticket? And I did it. And I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to get a ticket or anything. And I just waited. Forgot about it, actually. And then I just got an email, like, your ticket's, like, waiting for you. Just make sure you buy it. And I was like,
Sick.
no way. I'm going
Sick.
to Burning Man. And so it was, like,
Wow.
very reasonable for that amount of time, the festival. So I'm super humbled and grateful for what it taught me. There's other stuff about it, too, because there's this thing called the temple. And people bring a lot of their grief and sadness to the temple, the stuff they've lost. And it's like a shrine to the people and the things they loved or things that they need to let go of. And that's kind of what the burning symbolizes. You want to let go of something and transform it into something else in the universe. And that's what a lot of old cultures used to do.
Smoke it
Light it
away.
up. So it's funny. I'm like, I had made this song, Chauncey Got the Fire. Like, of course I have to go to Burning Man. I got fire, you know what I mean? I'm about to go where there's really a lot of fire.
Triumph.
But anyways, yeah, so I was super grateful to see, like, so many people lost so much, and it makes you, when you can see it all collectively like that, it really makes you humbled and grateful for what you still have. You got everything. You can breathe, you can walk, you got shelter, you got food, you got tons of friends. If you still have family that's taking care of you, you still got family that you love, you got pets, you got opportunities. There's literally nothing to complain about. You know? Yeah, there's a commitment to have to do things in life in order to subsist or whatever. But, like, everything is a gift. Every fucking moment is a gift. And I came away thinking that, like, it totally... I was
You didn't
thinking
think that before? Yeah.
No, I was thinking that before, but, like, it really, like...
Just thinking it more.
cements it, you know what I mean? It just fundamentally changes the way that you're subconsciously thinking about anything for me. And I've been shaping that, like, okay, like every moment I'm waking up, like, I'm so grateful. I woke up this morning. You know what I mean? Like, I got fucking a song on a playlist. I get to work on this. Guess what? I'm on a podcast today. Like, just crazy. I got this beer. There's people who don't have beer, dude. Like, I know it's crazy. Like, seems like I'm like, throwing it out.
No, I think there's something to be
but-
said about counting your blessings. That's a good thing.
What about you, Sis Flo?
What about me?
What about your blessings?
Blessings on blessings
Your
on
blessings
blessings.
on
I got
blessings
blessings on blessings. Yep, definitely. I think that is actually one of the keys to life is being thankful, because if you can be thankful with a little, you'll be thankful with a lot.
Dude, I fully believe in straight just positive reinforcement, like affirmations in a sense. I'll hear a song, and the first song is like, and it was like, yes. And then it was like, yes. And it just, I was like, oh, dude, yeah, I'm already about this song.
Yeah.
And then I heard it, and then I hear some other songs, and it's just like, oh, hell yeah. Just like talking about how like fucking sick you are. Like I've been bumping Gucci Mane, Rich Motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
It's ice cream Gucci with the diamond grin. Like, so he's talking about how tight he is, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
that
that's one of those
positivity right
things,
there.
is
Those
that
are
when those-
affirmations.
When those
Yeah.
artists are writing those songs and doing those songs, they might be talking about themselves. Maybe they're thinking about you in the songwriting process, but the way they do it, you hear them and then you start reciting it, and then you're putting yourself in the first person, then you're putting yourself in those shoes, you know. And like when it comes to the actual songwriting process for that, me and Chauncey have been talking a lot about that, and it's actually shout out again to James Dean, Sun Yoga. He was the one that was kind of elaborating on it with me a couple years ago, how you got to be really careful with the words you choose to write with and you choose to use and whatever, because not only does that stuff kind of like manifest itself, but also like there's just so much repetition that you end up like learning that, and that becomes a part of you, so when you're doing, don't get me wrong, there's a time for expression, and there's some sad songs out there and etc. But the stuff that me and Chauncey are working on, we want to be able, that you know, you hear it so much, and by the millionth time you actually get it, that it's like, oh, wait a minute, I am the shit. Like, there is light out there. Like, I can do these things. Like, we can achieve the impossible because, you know, it's just beaten into you, you know? And that's genuinely, like, I think where we're at right now, where we have so much gratitude for this gift in the physical form, you know, of these like 5 senses that we have, but there's like 360 senses, you know, and we have like, we're so like,
Wait, what?
that's a different thing though.
One
The point
for
is,
every day that
yeah,
you're
the thing
minus.
is it's just that, like, you know, we're so like pumped on just life and like being able to contribute with art, you know, because you know, that whole idea on how like it imitates that. And I feel like right now it's a good time to be living. Like, don't get me wrong, we got problems, but humans are resilient, and we're gonna get through all this stuff. And we're here, you know, the Flowmads are here to like just spread the good news, you know.
Yeah. And open the eyes and open the ears.
Yeah, but just
to
also
that.
like, you know, like I'm saying, like before and earlier in my career, I was always worried about getting listeners and followers and being famous and making a whole bunch of loot off that. But now it's just more about like making good music, like that whole idea of like when we're talking about the universe and like radio waves and sound waves and that vibrating with the rest of creation is like, I want to make stuff that like goes along with it and that is paid attention to, and that's my legacy. That's what I'm interested in doing, is intellectual capital. I'm not interested in all this like
Intellectual
physical, you know, man-made fucking bullshit. You know, I'm interested in making a hit for my people out in Sector 7G X526. You know, like I've been famous there for like half a decade now. Shanzi's been famous there for like a decade. You know, it's like the humans, like we're the ones that haven't gotten it yet. Like, look at what we're doing to ourselves. Look at what we're doing to Earth. Look at all this stuff. Like, our fan base, like, it's limited. Like, this tour, like, we're excited about it, but I'm only expecting a few enlightened to be there. You know, the rest of the planet, like, they need to get hit with what's going on, man.
And that's what the Flowmads are here to do.
Dude.
We're here to help you out. We're here to help you out, planet
Yeah,
Earth.
and it's cool because it's fun, it's easy, it sounds dope, and it makes you feel good.
You need another beer over there, sir?
I could always use another beer, but I think I'm gonna chill for a sec. I gotta drive Shansi home after this.
Okay.
We gotta be responsible.
I can take a beer, huh?
Well, Shansi can have another beer though. I've only had one.
Should we take a little pause break for a sec?
No, definitely not.
No.
Somebody can just run over there. Would Chauncey
I
run
got
over
you.
there? Yeah.
Do you need one?
Nah. Yeah, bring it over.
No, I'm
I'll-
good.
I'll-
I'm good.
I'll
But bring one for
I'll
yourself.
drink
and for
another one with
Toronto.
you, Chauncey. Dude,
Oh, yeah.
I love talking to you guys because I'm gonna tell you why.
We love talking to you, bro.
Honestly, you're able to expand. Thank you, into like just random thoughts that I have a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And then especially after listening to podcasts and you hear about other people talk about like Egyptian and all these other things. And it gets me super interested, like historians and stuff like that, and all these discoveries that we keep finding out about
Just
humans in
life.
general and
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Dude, my friend Daniel came here the other day. He's my son. Wait, I haven't been able to do this in a while. Hold on.
Get it.
Boom.
Yeah.
Shanti,
That's
cheers.
Nice.
Much
guys.
love.
Good job.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, my brother.
Yeah.
Dude, we could share this if you want, dude.
No.
That's a lot.
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
I feel heavier as I drink it. What I was gonna say though is actually I don't remember what I was saying.
You are heavier. That's the fucking beauty of it.
What?
You are heavier.
What do you mean?
You
From
put that
drinking that.
matter inside your matter. You fucking heavier.
You literally.
Oh, that's what I was talking about. You guys are fucking out there, so we always be getting on some fucking out there too.
Yeah.
But out there.
But that's why we're MCs, you know, because it's like we like to be able to take all that out there stuff we
Dude,
do
you know what I
and
wanna ask
kind
you
of
about?
organize it. But
What-
we love to talk. Like, he's got the gift of gab, you got the gift of Beck. I mean, who knows? Maybe if you would have started writing earlier and all that, you might have been an MC as well.
Dude, you know, I always wanted to be a rapper, but I was like, nah, it's not my calling right there. I love it and I idolize it, and it definitely shapes everything about the way I hold myself in my life. Like, don't be a bitch. You always stand like you
Mhm.
stand your fucking 10
But
toes
those are
down.
like
you know
what
I
you're
mean?
talking about.
Like,
Those are specific philosophies of like hip hop artists. You know, like when
But
it
no,
comes
but
to the
dude,
idea
that's-
of like hip hop, there's like certain like foundations and
but
like
lyrical, and then
rules. I
also like
wouldn't
the
call 'em
lifestyle.
rules, but you know, like KRS One and all those guys elaborate on it, Bambaataa and everything. You know, the Temple of Hip Hop and all that stuff. But
Well, no, but like I'm talking about lifestyle in
Yeah.
terms of like it's not even just the music.
because
to
what
me.
you're describing too, that just seems like life in general. Like, you know,
That's
whether
what
it's
I
the
mean.
American Revolution or
That's-
somebody, the underdog, you shouldn't fucking
Exactly.
take shit. You should always stand up for yourself.
Yep.
You justice for all.
Dude, Nipsey Hussle is like, I'm out here 10 toes down. Like, I'm
Yeah,
out
yeah,
here,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like, I fucking think about that shit on the real. Like, that's why I fuck with hip hop. On the real, 100%. That's why I love having you guys on, because you guys are a hip hop group.
But
Regardless
you know,
of like
hip
the.
hop isn't popular in some other countries though. Like, don't
That's
get me wrong,
fine.
in Europe and stuff like that, it is. But like, for example, in South America, where I was at in Peru, like, and they could give a fuck about hip hop out there, you know. And it's just interesting. 'Cause,
That's
like,
fine.
when you're well, it is fine, but it's just interesting how when you're talking about you're saying like it motivates me, it inspires me, like it's done this and that, you know.
Dude,
And
yeah.
who knows whether it's the beat or the lyrics or a combination
It's
of both that's
both.
done that for you. It's weird in these other countries how it hasn't reached them like that, and maybe the mentality is different, maybe it isn't, but it's just funny because like there are some hip hop groups, don't get me wrong, but like the music that they prefer is just
Like
different.
cumbias.
Because like if you think about it, like it's just when you're looking at some rap songs or whatever, it's just a dude like kind of like voicing his opinion, sometimes yelling or whatever, just over a beat. If the beat's dope, you know.
But that's the thing, is
if
like
the
it's
beat
more
isn't
than
dope,
that, though.
exactly.
It's
and I agree with
more-
you. But like for some people who don't understand that, they just kind of hear that and they're just kind of like, no, I'm not feeling it, you know. And it's a bummer because like that's what really good music is that like if you can understand the language, that's like a double or triple whammy, because then you can kind of take that story and incorporate it. But like it's a song, like the songs that really get me are ones that aren't in English, that are from another country, and I like that song and I have no idea what the fucking guy is saying. And I'm just all like, holy shit, that's when you know it's a banger, you know, because then it's like
Well, yeah,
more
because you're feeling
universal.
the vibe of the thing
Yeah,
more.
yeah, the vibe and the
You know,
pattern.
and like I've actually kind of been interested in doing that more with Sean. So like we've been talking about that. Besides all the newer stuff that we're gonna be coming out with here in the future, you know, it's gonna be super eclectic. I think it's just like the stuff that we've already come out with. It's like you could play it for people who don't even speak English anywhere, and they'll bob their heads. I've done it, you know. It's pretty sick actually, and that's the kind of music I'm interested in making right now. It's like good stuff that doesn't matter what language you speak, you can feel that shit, you know.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, just to even go back to
And
what
if you
were
happen
saying,
to speak it, double whammy.
well, it's not even just like hip hop to me is not even just
True.
about the lyric or the beat. It's also the rapper.
Because
You
you would
know-
agree that the music sometimes conveys like a mode or an emotion too. Like you don't have to even know what the person's saying. You already like you kind of feel it.
Feel
Bro,
it if
I
the
look,
music's
but
good.
see, if I could, I love watching music videos. I've talked about this before. Is like, I will come home and I'll spend kind of a stupid amount of time, like hours sometimes, watching music videos
Sick,
of
dude.
rappers
There's so
and
many
shit.
dope ones now.
And it's hella
Yeah,
sick. I
those are
love
Yeah.
it.
Really good ones. Too.
Leslie doesn't believe it. Like she's like, "Are you fucking watching music videos?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'll like record them and shit on my
that's
Insta.
nice,
Like,
especially if you're enjoying that green and then you just sit down to some
Dude,
music.
yeah,
but
you
it's
fuck-
it's the stimulation of like the picture, because man, it's a story.
Well, that's
it's
what I'm
all
saying.
Story. Music is a story.
it has to be the rapper too, because like I fuck with the rapper. That's why I look at the rapper and I'm like, okay, I believe this guy, you know. And then you find out, like, you actually start, you know, like any other person with their favorite thing. It's
I
like
think
you
it
start
goes-
researching the
Figure
person
out
or
what they
whatever.
are,
Like,
yeah.
and then it's like, is this full real or is this a studio rapper? And then you find out like somebody like Nipsey Hussle, or you hear about what he's rapping about. And to me, that was like moving. Or like when you first time you heard Big L, like fucking, oh my god,
When he
son.
freestyles, oh jeez.
Dude,
it goes
Big
both
L
ways though. Like when
or
you're
fuck-
doing the music video as compared to just like hearing the song, because like it's like reading a book as opposed to watching the movie. You know, like when you hear a song and it's dope, you can still kind of use your imagination and everything like that. When you see like a visual that represents that, sometimes it's cool if that's the first time you see it and that's the original. It represents that, and that's what you think of every time you hear the song. But sometimes it might ruin it, you know, because
that is
you
true.
like to be
It's
able
more
to like
defined.
kind of
It's like-
picture like what's going on. Like a lot of the songs me and Chauncey have been doing, we've been incorporating a lot of pop culture and stuff like that from the stuff we've grown up and experienced.
But you guys
know?
do some crazy
So,
videos
like,
too, though.
So yeah, but we could do some like when it comes to
Yeah.
like real crazy videos though, we could do a lot of shit where like we could paint these really crazy pictures for people. But it's like, do we want to do that? Would we rather them just kind of like paint their own picture or whatever? And I think it just needs to be done right. That's all, you know, because there's so many times when like I've seen like something that I've read and I'm like, oh, that they did it justice. That was the shit. Or it's like, oh no, the book was way better, you know, or something like that. I don't know.
The book was way better.
I don't get me wrong. I don't read many books either, but it's just funny how it works out like that.
Damn.
Just gotta do it right.
Dude.
Do it and do it right.
But yeah, I respect the fucking music video jam. Nowadays, it's crazy because you don't think of it in the same way that like MTV music videos used to be for us.
Dude,
growing
that's
up.
how
way
it
better now.
was.
They're way better now.
But the thing is, in fact, yeah, it's gone way ham, and there's so many cool videos out there that are not only amazing music, but sometimes they take a video. They're not just trying to make a music video of like, I'm the artist singing the song, and here's the cool visuals I made for it. They're like doing completely different things. Like it's like a whole art piece.
They're
There's
like
a
mini
whole bit-
movies, and they
you
do
know,
like
yeah.
series sometimes. Like, could you imagine being able, just like 10 years ago, if you get in a fucking time machine and take some of like our lyric video and take that back 10 years ago, that would be like a hit fucking video back then, you know,
Yeah.
as opposed to now. There's just so much,
Dude.
there's so much access to so much information and so much technology. It's just like, it's crazy.
I
you
just saw a
know?
new music video. Oh, it's an older video now, but it's a Potato Salad. It was Tyler, the Creator, and A$AP Rocky.
Okay.
And they were rapping,
yeah,
and the
that's
whole
dope.
time they were rapping, the lyrics were in different typography, but like getting spelled out as they were saying them, so you could see it. And
Yeah,
they were rapping, and they're
lyric
looking hella
video,
sick.
Yeah.
It was fucking
Super cool.
tight. I was
And
all,
you understand the song
whoa.
really well when you can see the words
Yeah.
too
You
as
know,
they're happening at the right time.
And they're rapping
and
it,
then
they're
the
like-
visuals of what they're doing, and
Yeah.
their body language is explaining the words too.
Yeah.
Bucky
yeah, it's like
met
it's
It
like a
was
full thing.
sick.
So like that's the thing. It's engaging a lot more senses. It's like your vision, your body, your language, and your music, your audio senses all getting engaged at once
Yeah.
for the same thing. And so like that story is getting like embedded and like totally getting like coming across as truth for you. You know what I mean?
And I think that's dope when it's like art on top of art and top of art, like stuff like that, you know? But the fact
Art
is
on top of
that
art on top of
before
art.
you can even get to those different levels and like incorporating all that stuff, if we're talking about music specifically, you just need to have a banger, you know? And that banger needs to be a banger done in acoustic style. So I feel like if you can make something that sounds really good acoustic, then all of the other smoke you add to it, that adds flavor, you know? So
Yeah.
like if you can do, if like for example, all Ashanti's songs that he's done, you play them acoustically and those songs are bangers, and then you get all the synths and instruments and stuff added on, that adds flavor. You make a sick music video, sick, you do a live show, you add the smoke and you add the light technician and the fire, you know, tech, all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's gonna make it bigger and better. But all that stuff, like that's why it's so important to have that
the foundation.
fucking gold from the get-go, you know, because then all that other stuff is going to be a win-win situation for you, you know, like and that's what's crazy, is that there's a lot of stuff out there that actually isn't gold. It's like fool's gold, but they still put so much production into it and so much
Right.
money that it circulates, and that's what people think is like the goods, when it's like, no bro, there's like some really good
Yeah,
good
the
out
production value is smoke and mirrors, but
there. Yeah.
it's like the truth. Cisco's always on like nailing that point with this song. This song, like, it's not like the version of the song. It's the song that's really like amazing, beautiful piece of art. And like one example that I tried to bring up always is like the Beatles. Just their songs are just timeless,
So good.
and they're so recognizable, and the art of their melodies and the combination of their parts just creates something that's completely unique and original, that's undeniable and completely recognizable in whatever form. Whenever someone remakes that music, it's always amazing, no matter how they remake it, how good of a musician remakes it, because they're remaking a song that's completely incredible. You know what I mean? And so that's where he's saying this: the test of a song is not how dope it sounds on the biggest sound system, how cool it is to see at the biggest production level, or how dope the music video it is. It's like how fundamentally like beautiful is the song with its elementary parts.
When it's stripped down and it's at its essence, you know.
No,
like,
yeah.
Dude, like I remember a long time ago, Dave Grohl was like on the Howard Stern show or something like that, and he did fuck, I can't believe I'm
What do you
forgetting
ca-
the
did
song,
his song?
right now.
Was
yeah,
it his
yeah,
song?
no, it was a Foo Fighters.
It was the
track, dude.
Everlong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
Everlong, and he did Everlong acoustically, bro. And I remember getting
Sick.
chills hearing that, and I was like, "Fucking," because it was a great song. It's like when you add like all the backing to that, it
Yeah.
makes it better. You
Dave
know,
Grohl's
I
don't
fucking
love that
tight,
song
yeah.
acoustically. I learned to play that one because of how sick it is.
It was so dope, and like,
acoustically.
yeah, man, you know, so.
He
I'm
played
looking forward to-
on like the drums on Queens of the Stone Age when they didn't have a drummer.
Well, he also
and
with
he was
Nirvana.
also the Nirvana drummer
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Queens of the Stone. He's still Queens of the Stone Age
He
drummer.
plays a lot.
He
of
does
stuff,
still do
man.
that?
Yeah, that's his. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's Queens of the Stone Age.
Dude.
Yeah, he's fucking, and he's got another band too. I think he's out of control, dude.
Such a G.
So good, and it's because he's chasing his bliss, and he's making like, I guarantee you that dude. I've seen it. You've seen like stories of him. You've seen videos. Guarantee that dude is super stoked and grateful and like kind to people.
Dude,
all
he
the time.
looks like
That's
he's
how it
like the
works.
nicest dude ever.
He is the nicest dude ever, and then he just thrashes like he just kills it.
Oh, bro, I saw him in Madison Square Garden, and there was somebody that like in the middle of their set like threw a CD at him, you know, but it like was like thrown and it like hit him right in the chest, you know, and he stopped the set, dude. And he grabbed the CD and he was like, "Oh, what does everyone think of like maybe if we just stop the set right now?" And everybody in the crowd was like, "No!" It was like this guy was gonna get mobbed, bro. It was
Yeah.
crazy. But then he was like, "No," and then he kind of said a couple things like, you know, like figure out a way to like, you know, genuinely like meet with me. So, you know, if you want me to hear your music instead of just throwing that shit at me like on stage or something.
Like, what if that would have hit him in the
Yeah.
fucking face? That
But
would
the thing, yeah, but the
He'd
thing
probably
is
say
that
the
like
same
it's
thing,
like it's
'cause-
a really tough situation because from his point of view, I understand it as far as like, you know, you could get injured or like anybody like, you know, could do anything, I guess. But from that guy's point of view that threw it, it was like he was probably like at his Foo Fighter concert. He like probably worked super hard on his music. Like he probably sucks or whatever. But like it was that moment. He's like, I'm never gonna meet Dave Grohl. He doesn't have that access, right? So he's like, how am I gonna get my music to him? He's like super pumped and he gets it on there. He just happens to throw it awkwardly and it hit him right in the chest. And like at that moment, he might have been broken. Maybe he didn't. You know, maybe it didn't affect him that hard. But it's like it's weird because the one thing I've learned from music, as far as the music business, is like you can send stuff in, you know, demo. You can try and do the numbers, the fishing games, and maybe get like a couple bites. But the real interaction, the genuine interaction from the kind of circulation you want to get comes from like the genuine interaction, from like actually going to like these people's shows, like maybe waiting backstage, maybe to get some signed, striking up a conversation, you know, working your ass off so you can go on tour, you know, opening for the people that you look up to and having genuine interactions with them too. Not like interactions where it's like, oh, I make music too, here, it's my demo, listen to it on the way, like pushing stuff on it, like being like, hey man, how are you doing? Like, oh shit, you know, like I know you got some wife and kids, like you haven't seen them, we're on tour, like how are they doing, do you miss them? Like just like weird stuff like that, so that it's like genuine bonding and friendship, so that they want to hear your stuff, they want to see your art, they want to like check out what you're doing. It's not just people, you know, like pushing stuff on each other, trying to like do that. It's like an interesting kind of networking. So if like for any advice with those artists out there that are trying to like, you know, do big things besides putting in a lot of work and reps, you got to have genuine networking and interaction, you know, so that these people like want to genuinely hear your stuff. It's not just force-fed bullshit.
You got to build relationships and be a good person to be around and be a person that inspires the people around you. That's why they want to put you on, and that's why people want to hear your music too. So it all comes down to just that I totally agree with that completely. So that's why Dave Grohl's like, yo, if you really want me to listen to this, like, put in your work, just be a good person, find a way, you will find a way. And that's how music has, like, that's the way the industry works. But luckily it does work like that.
Well, honestly, too, if the kid is really into it too, like like you're saying, like when there's a will, there's a way. So he won't let that sidetrack him. He'll be like, oh, okay, that was the wrong way to go about it. I'll figure out another way to get Dave my music, you know? So it's just weird because I feel like a lot of artists out there are misunderstood too. Their actions, it gets magnified, or like a lot of stuff gets lost in translation when people got to remember that they're all like just regular people too. All of us, we're all just people, you know, just trying to live our best life.
Living my best life.
And if God don't do it, it won't get done. We need a miracle.
Oh my goodness, dude. Well, fuck, guys. We're already almost at like fucking hour 20.
Great.
Yeah.
Great,
Dude.
Johnson. Now pass me the motherfucking lighter.
Dude, I got you right here, G.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up, and we'll chill for a little bit longer and just like
Wrap it up.
we'll fucking smoke some more.
Yeah.
Boys, tell them where they fucking can find you at, and let's
Tell them, Schultz.
tell them where they can find you on Spotify. Tell me where the tour, where they can get tickets on the tour for the tour.
Yo, we are the Flowmads. We're super stoked to be here. You can find us at actually, you can find us at the Flowmads on Instagram, the Flowmads on Facebook. You can find us at flowmads.net on the internet. So those are good places. We have a YouTube. If you search for Flowmads, you're gonna find us, and we want to see you on tour. We're super stoked to be out there. If you come support, it makes so much of a difference for us, and you get to be part of the story of us growing too. So it's really
That's
good.
right.
Fuck
And tickets on tour is just going to be local undergroundy style, so mostly just tickets at the door. There may be some pre-sales.
But if you're looking up the tour, it's called the Traveling with the Spirit Tour. So make sure you come.
Where can they
That's
find that
right.
at? Where can they find that at?
You can find that just on like Facebook and online.
We
You
got
know,
we
you can
got
find that on
event pages on Facebook, and if you look up Flowmads or the Roomy Depth or even Scarab Touring, you're gonna see all the dates that we are rolling together with the Spirit. So I think we went over it, but we'd love to see you guys. We're in Bay Area, Central Cal. We're in NorCal. We're in Oregon. We're at fucking coastal
Hold
Southern
on real
California.
quick. Let me see that thing real quick because we got to give them
Voila.
the names of the venue. You guys need to come to the Partisan in Merced, the Outbreak Brewing Co. in Placerville, Hotel Utah on the Bay in San Francisco, Watson's Vet Club at Mount Shasta, the iPub in Ashland, Oregon, the Hall in Grants Pass, Oregon, Wildcraft Cider Works in Eugene, Oregon, Powerhouse in Folsom, California,
Mm-hmm.
Bliss Cafe in San Luis Obispo, Catch One in Los Angeles. Catch One, I'm really excited for that one, bro. Shout out to my boy Blake and Willie.
Yeah, we got Nugent on that night. It's gonna be a good one.
American Legion Hall in Lancaster, Cali, and then we finish off at the Holding Company in Ocean Beach. So,
October what day?
October 6th.
October 6th.
THC.
All right.
Yeah.
Get your THC on. Caffeine and Green. What's good?
Yeah. And if you want the
Yo.
details on dates for all those things, just look us up on social media.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll fucking come and say what up.
Yeah,
Dude,
man.
hell yeah.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, boys. And then at the Flowmads on Instagram.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right, boys. Well, thank you as always for cruising through, and it definitely
Oh,
will not be
man.
the last.
Oh, man.
All right. Sisla.
Oh, man.
Boom.
Yeah, buddy.
Chauncey.
Yeah, buddy.
Peace.
Respect.